yellow light streaming out from our space from the foreground to illuminate the back of the dancer as blue. And this glow, the nature of this glow is big. It's hinted at in images from kerosene lamp that illuminated in the studio, others to be electrical moons, so-called electrical moons, then changing the social pattern of cities from prospect to the earth next to electricity. And our speakers all have more to say about this juxtaposition, the central juxtaposition between two sources of illumination. Do you think and what that means? For now, for the purposes of this introduction, there's one further aspect of the picture that merits our attention. And that is, those of you who know will know just how distinctive some of that is in his photograph painting. In 1890, this artist was famous for his dramatic renderings of armed women facing perils of the sea, as in the life flattery. In 1884, his painting of the dramatic rescue of the Zoo, or as in this picture, a fisherman looks over the shoulder. Now, different things look here. Here, see aestheticism, foreshadowing a great seascape that he will paint at the end of his career. Here, nature seems to be a bar, a place for dance, like here, a site for practical experimentation, rather than a stage for a story. Now, perhaps because of its distance from those heroic narratives, from those great seascapes, rescue pictures of the past, Homer could not find a fire for something. The late 19th century writer Alfred Trumbull counted the painting, quote, among the most powerful pictures that any man of our generation of people has painted. But Homer's patrons passed. He sent it around, no one was interested, and after a few years he gave up trying to sell the painting and hung it in a Portland club. And then to Paris. I should cue my trumpets or jazz music here, because this is the moment here at the Exposition Universelle in 1900 when the fate of this painting changed. Homer was selected by a committee of peers to represent the United States at the Great World Fairs, and he was part of a large group of American artists who showed their work in this building, and he sent not one but 4 paintings: The Maine Coast, All's Well, Fox Hunt, and Thematic. And here's Homer's painting on the left, number 61, in the catalog for that show. And you can see it's hanging alongside some papers we know, 60, John Singer Sargent, and other names that are less familiar today, like the landscape painter H. Baltimore. So Summer Night struck a chord with the audiences. Homer was awarded a gold medal by the jury at the exhibition, and the seascape was acquired by the French state. Big deal for the attention for the Luxembourg House Museum, which was devoted to display contemporary art. And it's moved from there to Marseille, where it was today. And over the years, the picture has made several trips across the Atlantic. Here it is in the gallery upstairs, where its latest stop. Summer has been featured in great retrospectives, including at the Boston. And it's been displayed in a number of thematic shows like this work. Yet, this iconic painting has rarely been subject to the kind of most and critical discussion that we'll have tonight. We're going to get to know this painting and its power quite well. And our guides to the work are speakers will introduce, and each of them will discuss the painting for about 10 minutes, and then all convene friends here to this discussion, and then open the stage to your questions. So our first speaker is Alain Valence, who, like Summer Night, has traveled from France for the event this evening. Alain is assistant professor at the Université de France, and she's among the leaders announcement of the main speaker, because Frank is the co-director of the Bowdoin College Museum of Art. That's a position he shared with his wife Anne since 2013. Previously, Frank was curator of
Pedro, 1, 2, 3,
National Portrait
Suffix.
Gallery. Curated more than a dozen
Which
exhibitions,
Chile,
numerous books
Chile.
on
I
history,
didn't understand it.
on American art history, history of the American West. And luckily for us, his current project is exploring Homer's relationship to photography. And this is the basis for an exhibition that will open at the Bowdoin College Museum in the summer of 2018. Last, we'll hear from one of Harvard's own, Jennifer Roberts, who is Elizabeth Carey Agassiz Professor of Humanities, great partner to the Harvard Art Museums. Jennifer is an art historian focused on American art from the colonial period onward. She has many interests in craft, reality theory, print studies, history of science, and she's written books and articles on topics ranging from Johnson and Copley to Robert Smithson and Jasper Johns. Her current project is tentatively titled The Matrix. It's a book that promises to change the way we think about the history of prints. So a big thank you to our speakers for coming tonight from points around the globe, and I would welcome the speaker to the stage. So thank you.
Popularized by the expatriate artist James McNeil Westman. Some made it their trademark, like Charles Roller Peters, also known as the Prince of Darkness. Some, like Frederick Ellington, adapted their production to this new trend, using light as a kind of filter. Homer, even though he described this version of aesthetics as cool things, Homer was no exception, and like most artists in the period, he tapped into this new face for obscurity. So, Summer Night is just, as Ethan said, it's return to oil, and it's significantly a return to oil after a series of watercolor, mostly sun-drenched pictures. So this is really, to me, a significant move to go back to oil and magazine. So this was at once an important and frustrating painting in a reserve, as in line just to contrast with Homer's usual genre scenes, and these pictures enjoying a quiet living in the sea are very different from the hard-skinned fishermen finding the island that won Homer's reputation as old American, virile, realist, and those three things in the important case. Homer's realism is really weighted with those action-packed paintings in the mind of his audience at the time. And this is probably also, I agree, why 10 years later he started painting while in the end it was a French government and an American mercury. The painting was indeed in some measure remains difficult to situate. Many commentators insisted symptomatically on Homer's fidelity to facts, repeating over and over that he painted exactly what he saw. But on the contrary, other critics, or sometimes even very same critics, underline the painting's mysterious tendency and, quote, the phantasmal life of the mind. They quote were thinking a spiritual entity or compared the two gangsters to the religious entity. Today, the text accompanying the painting clearly formulates the literals perceived by Homer's contemporaries, declaring that, quote, this nocturnal scene transcends observed reality through key sense arrangement and stands for new way, new I would like to focus tonight on what I see as the main troubling elements of the painting and that most painters that compete and discuss in more or less borderline terms, the presence of the Judaism women in the field. To me, they stand out so often that they always make the contribution for the art. So, for instance, when someone like the art maker suggested that, quote, the painting would be much more impressive if the figures in the foreground were left out, declaring them so commonplace that they created a positive discord with the sublime pride of the night. The New York Sun declared bluntly, quote, Homer's figures do not interest us, and we always wish them out of the way that we might more wholly enjoy the sea. So Homer might have been paying attention to his critiques when he painted Midnight Rita and Night.
Kushal Art Official. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm good. Thank you, thank you. Madi Panahi. Hello, hello.
I think the dancers were disturbing to Homer's audiences because of the way he attracted attention to the distribution of light in the composition. Commentators pointed to Homer's attempt to harmonize two lights in one picture, it's a painting, and to me there is still an awkward discordance between the moonlight and the illumination of two women. The glare projected on them is so intense that I can't
Kushal Art Official Art. Your talent is awesome. I am salute your talent. Thank you so much.
should come from
Job Vitus. Wow, Vitus. Wow, thank you. Octopus, beautiful drawing. Thank you, Octopus. Madi Panahi, just wow, have no words to say. Thank you, Madi Panahi.
on the streets of Portland, just a few miles away from the studio. And in 1845, Thomas Edison had made Portland one of the very first American cities to be equipped with an entirely electric public lighting system. This was quite innovative, and I'm showing you this illustration that shows you how Portland produced a very strong and very cool light, similar to what we do today with the lights of flood football stadiums, for instance. So one thing to remind ourselves of from our 21st century perspective is the novelty of their building, a reality suddenly divided between the ghostly brightness and shadows black and white itself. Electric lights in summer night exaggerate contrasts. It flattens out the group of moonlight users into dark silhouettes, and at the same time, it confers the foreground figure an uncanny aspect. The women look like oddities in the landscape. The platform.
Madi Panahi, what happened to yesterday's drawing, sir? It will be, I will continue that drawing.
Which did not exist in the real scene. And they actually, to me, seem to stand on a different ground, or even to belong to a space separated from the rest of the landscape, like the stage in front of maybe a painted room. Or even, and this is really the wildest interpretation I did here. I talked about phantasmal light, this is one of the words one of the critics used.
Kushal Official Art, you only use charcoal in this drawing? I love charcoal. No. This is mainly a graphite drawing, with the exception of one dark pencil, but this is not charcoal. This is actually Pierre Noir pencil. I use this for just the dark shadows, but majority is graphite.
And if you do use artificial lighting, then you end up creating a painting that will not convince your audience this is an authentic view or that you were transferred. Homer himself, in one of his well-known comments on the practice of painting, claimed that it was impossible to paint realistically under the artificial lighting of his studio, and that the result was always, quote, a vague picture. Here, though, Homer does his best to faithfully register the visual effect of the play without, and that's significantly, without including the source of the light. Yet this light is in its essence artificial, and its effect is to create a disjointed image, a positive display. So here in Summer Nights, the conversion of technology from the practice of painting is truly destabilizing. Like the dancers standing between two lights, or rested in their thoughts, Homer's Summer Night represents a suspended moment.
This is the B pencil graphite. I want to start from light to dark.
Good evening. Thank you first to Rob, Margaret, Ethan, Heather for organizing this evening's gathering. Looking at Summer Night, I was struck by many of the same things that have been interested scholars in the past, especially the handling of two different light sources, three if you count the red light in the background, one island light, and the organization of three distinct spaces that form the composition. I'm intrigued by the bold juxtaposition between the dancers illuminated by gas and electric light in the foreground, the silhouetted crowd veiled in darkness in the middle distance, and the spectacle of the moonlit ocean in the background. Some have argued in the past that these different elements don't cohere, while others celebrate.
Crucial official artwork. Graphite is a good method. Continue your drawing. I love your energy. Drawing, and I saw every drawing in your page. Wow, thank you, thank you.
3 years ago, Bowdoin College Museum of Art acquired a camera that Homer purchased in 1882 during his 2 years in England. After much research to verify its connection to the artist, my colleague in the art history department, Professor Dana Byrd, and I have embarked on a research project to investigate Homer's relationship to photography. Bowdoin owns a large collection of archival material related to Homer and his family, and the final clues that permitted us to authenticate this camera were found there, namely a group of photographs that match the size and type of prints that this camera would have produced. Here's an example of the type of photograph that Homer created with this camera. Our research suggests that Homer didn't start to make his own photographs until he settled at Buck's Neck in 1883. And yet it's important to note that Homer came of age during the era of photography's introduction and popularization.
DMRT. Thank you, thank you.
Never wrote about photography or exhibited publicly any of the photographs he created or collected. His art was shaped by this new visual technology, both directly and indirectly, from its very beginnings. This is the story that we will tell at the exhibition in London in December 2018. Of course, as most of you know, many American painters during the 19th century were curious about photography. Perhaps most famously, Thomas Atkins, who acquired his first camera the very same year as Homer. We could explore the comparison between these two artists later during the discussion.
I can't stay for today. You have a wonderful looking drawing. Thank you, dear Martin. I'm Katie, just hopping on a bus. As usual, a quick visit to the stream and drawings looking good. And see you. See you, I'm Katie here.
Before returning to Summer Night, let me share a couple examples that demonstrate Homer's engagement with photography. First, as an illustrator for Harper's Weekly, he created engraved portraits based directly on others' photographs, most especially images from the New York studio of Matthew Brady, which is located near 5 blocks from his own studio. There are approximately a dozen examples of this practice in Homer's prints, and at least one painting from this period whose source is directly a photograph.
Is
He also
Smiley, is that how you pronounce it? Smiley. Hello. What paper do you use? For this graphite portrait, I use Strathmore colored pencil paper. So that's kind of like, an experiment. Graphite drawing on a Strathmore colored pencil paper. And it's surprisingly, it's working. Ashley Newsome. OMG, that's so good. Thank you, Ashley Newsome. Thank you.
Largely considered cheap by many fine artists. These new mediums gave jobs to many aspiring artists, including Homer, and compelled painters to reconcile their own status within the larger image economy. Many were wary of photography's influence and worked proudly against it. Others, though, understood its unique capacities and to very used it for their purpose. While I do not propose that photography is solely responsible for the inventiveness and ambitiousness of this composition, I do want to argue that Homer was impacted by the introduction of photography, and that this painting is one of many that reveal evidence of this influence. Scholars previously commented on the composite nature of many of Homer's oil paintings, though many have praised his commitment for portraying the world.
Smiley. What graphite pencil do you use? For this I use several brands, but for this drawing, I use Stidler Mars Lumograph blue graphite pencil.
This often meant moving away from a direct transcription of the subject towards a more hybrid practice.
Smiley Bibli, what time is it?
Disparate
I'm here in the Philippines, and the time is 10:20 a.m.
with Summer Night, statements from Homer's contemporaries and smaller preliminary or related studies indicate that the artist thought about and sketched out different elements of this composition separately. One example that you see here, and that he brought them together to create a painting that was more ambitious and also more contrived than any of these smaller works themselves. This idea of cutting and pasting different elements goes back at least to the Renaissance. Yet here the combination suggests something more modern and something in part, I argue, to new modes of seeing created in part by photography. Homer was often intrigued by, even attracted to subjects
Of
that
Maurice Cyrenine of
sometimes
Timor.
reworked canvases at a later date in order to address his lingering concerns. In this painting, he is particularly interested in the visual effects of different types of light and light, and in the challenge of portraying them simultaneously. Since his early days as an illustrator, Homer was drawn to nighttime scenes. Yet whereas he was fascinated by leisure activities at night in print such as these two early works, in Summer Night, he was as interested in how one sees in the dark as he was in nocturnal pursuits such as dancing and sea gazing. Note in the painting how little depth is recorded in the foreground and middle ground. The figures that occupy these spaces appear as characters on a narrow theatrical stage, or perhaps even a photographic studio set. Behind these two figures, the dramatic moonlit sea is more like an imagined painted backdrop.
May Armenta, I already left my like. Thank you. S. Smiley, what about paper for Deadpool and Wolverine drawing? That paper is called Strathmore Bristol 400 series vellum surface.
That the figures would have been removed or placed at least on the sidelines as their presence obstructed their view of this beautiful moonlit ocean. Yet a straightforward view of the moonlit ocean was not his objective. Instead, he was hard to create a composition that explored human activity at night and investigated vision. Photographs tend to produce a similar flatness, especially at night. Adirondack photographer Seneca Ray Stoddard
Smiley, you're
was one
really
of the
good
first
at art.
American photographers
Have
to
you sold your
experiment
art?
by easily
Um,
photography, a pursuit that began only a few years
recently, no, but
while it is
couple
not
of
just
years
an
ago,
art
I was
form to do so,
accepting big
for many
commission
Americans,
artwork
trips to
from
the Adirondack,
clients.
photographs such as this ushered in a new era of picturing nighttime scenes and of understanding how subjects feel at night. This nearly black and
This
white
is
painting is entitled
HB. I need a lesser
created
tone
3 years
or
after
lighter,
Summer Night
so I use
during his
HB.
visit to the World's Columbia Exposition in Chicago. It also reveals a similar fascination with nightlight. In this case, the electric lights that illuminated the waterworks at the fair. Beside it is one of many popular nighttime photographs of the fair that circulated at the time. As with Summer Night and many
Smiley, how long have you been drawing for? Oh my god.
here,
From that time that I have zero skills up to now, I think all in all, for with portraiture, all in all, 16 years.
spouting water from the fountains at the faux Venetian gondola with passengers that glide by represent particular painting challenges. Thomas Akins, Jules Verret, and Muybridge were three individuals who in the 1880s experimented with photography to better understand motion. One result was the observation that rapid motion often produced a blur on film negative. Similarly, photographers found that objects at different distances do not appear consistently in photos. Though today's camera allows to largely eliminate blur and capture detail across wide distances, human vision, as we know it, does not always result in clear sight. Homer was interested in optical experiences, and photography led further evidence that human sight is more complicated than previously understood. In Summer Night, one notices right away
I'm going back to the B pencil.
characterizes the portrayal of two dancing girls, and the blurred shadow which the seated group in the middle ground is depicted. The painting is in fact a snapshot arresting this particular moment. A celebration of the joys of family and friends on a moonlit summer evening. One of its larger themes is also nature's ephemerality. Not unlike summer remain or life itself, the scene's beauty is a fleeting moment that will pass instant. While the Hummer collection at Bowdoin contains more than 100 photographs, you can take
Ivan, you said that once you are done with this, you will proceed with Eugene. Oo, nire-ready ko na siya.
It does, however,
Kasi walang papalit pa eh. Meron ng papalit dun sa charcoal. Tapos yung Eugene nga sa dito sa graphite.
In these photographs, paintings such as Summer Night, and in a long career that intersected frequently with photography, one learned that this medium was not something that Homer dismissed or competed against. Though he privileged his own vision and saw painting as the most compelling means to figure the world, he grew to learn that photography did not undermine, but instead complement his larger artistic interests. Thank you.
Smiley, are you gonna finish this drawing in this stream? Oh, I'm not sure if I can do that because here is will take hours and hours to finish.
And I want to thank Martha and Ethan and Heather for all of their work organizing this event tonight. It's really an honor to be here presenting along with Helen and Frank, both of whom have done so much deep and excellent research on this painting and on Homer. For my part, I was very thankful to Ethan for inviting me to participate in this because it's given me a chance to spend some time with this painting, thinking about Summer Night, which I hadn't thought much about until it arrived here at the museum a few months ago. All right, so as Ethan mentioned, in most of Winslow Homer's famous sea pictures, the ocean is an agent of danger, disorientation, and isolation. It rips his figures from their literal and social moorings while also
Art
challenging
Amor,
the
amazing. Thank you, Art Amor.
shearing sidelines apart and introducing unsettling discontinuities into the relationships between foreground and background. In Summer Night, however, Homer experiments with the ocean as a force of pleasure, sociability, and reverie. Here is a sea that seems synchronized with its observers. The silhouetted figures gaze calmly at the horizon, the waltzing women twirl in concert with the swirling and swelling of the waves. In his comments on the painting published in 1914, the critic Kenyon Cox emphasized this, noting that, quote, the girls and the sea dance together. Homer builds this choreography out of a series of rotary and orbital motions. The twirling figures are the most obvious. Their rotation is emphasized by the whirling flip of their skirt hems. They mirror the motion of the waves, because the waves themselves...
Levord, 1980. How long did it take for you to learn to shade like that? I think I've been doing portraiture for 16 years. But the early years were tough because you really need to figure out a lot of things along the way. And I've been on and off for 16 years, but when COVID came, that's the time when I was able to focus on studying more about skin tones, about layering, about using different pencil mediums. Graphite is one of the most recent mediums that I learned is the graphite pencil actually, because I started before I used graphite. I've been drawing using charcoal for several years already, and I discovered graphite pretty much just recent compared to charcoal and pastels. So if I've started portraiture or studying portraiture for 16 years, I think I just started graphite halfway the 16 years. So yeah, something like that. So with graphite, it's like I've been with graphite only for around 7 or 8 years.
And the dancing women seem to be at home and whole within this movement. It's a plenary moment of pure, unself-conscious experience within the roll and wash of time. The dancers closed eyes.
Ivan, graphite is among your mediums and it's your latest medium. Hindi, mas cheap yung charcoal. Mas cheap yung charcoal. Kasi before, wala akong idea. Nung gumagamit ako ng charcoal, powder pa yung ginagamit ko. Tapos brush technique with charcoal powder. Yung pa yung ginagamit ko. Tapos nakita ko parang hindi ako makapag-details using small brushes. Meron pa ako yung mga pentel pen na walang tinta. Doon mo isasoso yung powder para ng charcoal para magka-details. So, nung natuklas ako yung graphite, recently lang talaga. Kasi pinaka-afford na yung charcoal powder. Pinaka-affordable. Levord, 1980. Graphite is a great penciling tool. I have difficulty understanding what grade of graphite to use when shading. Oh, I understand that. I also struggled when I was studying graphite drawings, but I realized that you don't have to go dark right away. You do it layer after layer from light to dark. Like what I'm doing right now, I still need to darken several parts of the neck using darker graphite, but I opted to start with HB and B first.
The dance artificially lit on a stage-like platform inevitably calls up other forms of modern nocturne in the U.S. at this time, other summer nights spectacles, such as vaudeville, for example, which in 1890 was in its heyday at venues such as B.F. Keith's famous vaudeville operation in Boston, which opened in 1883. If the painting recalls urban entertainments, it also evokes other visual technologies that have recently
recent revolution of photo photography. While the dancers in Summer Night are not directly derived from Weinberg's many images of dancing women, they cannot escape their own historical relationship to Muybridge's famous subjects, especially his new Waltzers here. And I can't help but mentioning here Homer's very strong suggestion of a nude posterior.
Levort 1980, is this Angelina Jolie? Yes, it is.
As well as the oddly skin-like color of the dancers' dresses. Whereas on the one hand, the hint of nudity would suggest raw, natural, or erotic presence. In this world, after Muybridge, it also recalls the body performing for an instrument of mechanized anatomical visibility. Leaping off from Muybridge, there's one other technology to which we must attend here, and it brings us back to the rotational forces with which we began. Although cinema as we know it had not yet emerged in 1890, proto-cinematic technologies, the thematic fluoropraxiscope, were all the rage. These animations mounted on or in spinning discs drew upon rotation as the vehicle for their own animation. The motif of the waltzing couple was a stock subject for these amusements, not least because the dance's internal rotations were mimicked by those of the instrument creating the animation. So the natural rotary forces that charge through the body in a dance are miniaturized here and displaced.
Levort 1980, I can tell from the details in the cheekbones. You're really good. Wow,
If the
thank you.
dancers in Summer Night dance with the sea, then, if they're spinning the lines with the orbit of the moon and the roll of the waves in the faraway pulse of the rotating lighthouse, so in 1890 do they match the spin of the phenakistoscope. And it's with this last association that we get the strongest glimpse of the fundamental tension in Homer's painting, an image that simultaneously celebrates rotation as a cosmic natural force and acknowledges it as a vehicle of artificial spectacle. Rotation, gears, cylinders, and wheels was by the late 19th century an unavoidable signifier of automation, mechanical power, and modernity. Can the grand cycles of nature and this spin of spectacle be rolled up into one coherent image? Can Homer's world of strenuous natural experience be synchronized with this new world of artificial and theatrical entertainment? This is the question, I think, that Summer Night asks so well, even if it refuses to answer.
How about you? After Kukuso, take Dr. This idea.
Homer painted and briefly exhibited Summer Night in 1890, but it didn't sell, as we've heard. 10 years later, in 1900, it won a gold medal at the Exposition Universelle and was purchased by the French state. A couple of things had happened in the 10 years between 1890 and 1900 that may help account for the painting's sudden appeal in Europe at the cusp of a new century. One is symbolism. Over the course of the 1890s, Europe had been introduced to a rush of images that evoked powerful emotional and bodily connections to nature and an ideal of a total interpenetration between natural and bodily states. Munch's moonlight pictures are particularly interesting in this regard. Although they were painted after Summer Night, they reflect back upon Homer's work. After Munch and other symbolist paintings, Homer's painting was precociously simplist in its own suggestions of mystical cosmic connections and affective resonance. But the other thing that happened between 1890 and 1900 was cinema. In 1890, Homer's painting just hinted at the still uncompiled ingredients of the cinematic revolution: vaudeville, photography, rotary animation, artificial lighting. But by 1900, those elements had coalesced into the cinema proper, a reel of film on transparent stock run through a rotary apparatus to generate the effect of movement projected from a light source in the back of a room onto the wall and observed by spectators sitting in the dark. scripted film program took place in December of 1895 in Paris. So arriving in Paris 5 years after Lumiere's presentation, with its spectatorial silhouettes and bright vertical animation, wall light now looks precociously cinematic. This Lumiere poster features one of the most popular of the short films that were part of Lumiere's first program. The film, and you can see that in the upper right there, is known by various wonderfully recursive titles, including The Waterer Watered and The Sprinkler Sprinkled. A gardener is watering with a hose. A boy comes up behind him and steps on the hose. The gardener looks into the hose to determine why the water has stopped flowing, and you can guess what happens. We might think of this film as the most ludicrously artificial version possible of the oceanic forces at work in Homer's seaside paintings. Instead of the dramatic rising spray of the pounding surf driven by orbital wave motion, we have the slapstick spray of an unblocked garden hose driven by a rotary projector. This is about as far from simplest nature as you can possibly get. All of which is to say that the subtle hints of tension in the summer night of 1890 had exploded into full-blown conflict in the summer night of 1900. Symbolist mysticism and cinematic mechanism both had claims on Homer's painting, pulling it between polar extremes of authenticity and artificiality. That these oppositions still managed somehow to cohere in the painting might help explain its appeal in Paris at the turn of the century, when the questions Homer had gently posed 10 years earlier had become ever more urgent and unanswerable.
When it came off the Q&A, although I'm sure there are many questions in the audience, but I'll say that the kind of audience thread that went through each talk, from the electricity from the program to the camera to cinema, is these new technologies, not the one that expected of a game like this. And the question is, it's still, if Homer's looking forward, grappling with these new modern currents, he's still using this very traditional format. So number one, can we reconcile? Even the second part of the page, the question is, when you all says, look at this painting, as you all will, it's all paint. The paint is right there. It's defined dots and patterns in this chat, the glittering moonlight. So I guess I would say when you all connected to these new technologies, how do you feel with the kind of the materiality, the insistent painterliness, the insistent materiality of the painting? Why did Homer choose not to take pictures? Yeah. Let's take that.
Well, I'll start. It's interesting that Homer's limited art education really began as a graphic illustrator. And he aspired to be a painter in his early years in Boston. And I feel that while he experimented in many different artistic mediums, various forms of printmaking, watercolor, photography. I think that he always printed as the medium that was not only at the peak of the hierarchy of the art, but that was capable of realizing and sort of bringing together in some way passion, much of what he wanted to portray, wanted to see. So I think that painting status mattered.
I would just agree that I think the painting offered was a plane upon which all of these various often conflicting forms of visual culture and
is really what's happening in this painting is he's working with the child and all these new technologies and trying to determine whether in fact they can be brought into painting, which of course is still very much understood as the primary medium for the fine arts. He's not about to drop out and become a filmmaker. So I think that that's really important, and I also think that there is a kind of opposition within the very act of painting itself that aligns with some of these conflicts that we are seeing in relation to painting and technology, namely that while the act of painting and the image as painting is this very physical, rich, bodily presence, nonetheless, the painting is still always in danger of becoming merely an image. And one of the interesting things about the way this painting was received and discussed even by Homer was this idea that you need to stand back from it in order to really see it. So, for Homer, the privileged position is to be beyond the point that you can actually see them. You can actually participate in the painting as a physical thing. So it's both medium and material thing, which is similar to the kind of conflict between technologies that we were talking about.
Right. And on the subject of technology, we can all early in our minds the moment when the camera and the cinema. We understand even today cutting edge technology, but electricity is not something to think of kind of new technology. And I know you've done a lot of work on this kind of moment when electricity changes everything. And you say a word about that larger context.
So this is definitely where not only electricity, I was interested in the question of darkness and darkness. We're mostly investigating the reasons why people at that time were so nocturnal and night scenes, and it's true in the US, but what you show in the shows that it's shared with the whole Western world. And there's this sense, there's that night as people have known it for not even a century, but millennia, is suddenly disappearing, while it was the one continuous thing, the one thing that all humanity referred to and shared. And there's this invasion of technology, quite similar to what practically you see in this painting that kind of questioned everything, but that was way beyond that. It was a whole series of inventions that really blurred the line between the visible and the invisible, between this is the moment the X-ray is invented. So photography is part of it as well, just seeing movement and the details of movement. So not only obscurity becomes threatened and dangerous, but vision becomes something very different. And I think that's also what Homer is doing here, is experimenting with what you can see or you can't see and new ways of seeing. And that really is hard for us to go back and do that new. It's fascinating that we're very good.
Invasion of technology is very predominant. Great question. Let's open it up to the audience. It's a line of simulated figure.
Well, I mean, one of the things that is so interesting about this painting is its general bi-directionality, right? You've got light coming from two different directions. You have a set of dancers, one of whom is facing the foreground. And one of the things that I think that the silhouette figures do is it gives you a kind of visual vector into the background. So the dancers are looking towards, well, at least her face is towards us. And so you have a connection with the viewer, and then the silhouette figures are looking into the background. so that you have this doubling of, I guess, visual vectors that's also tied up with the doubling of the light source, so that the entire range of the depth space of the painting is being activated in that sense. But I also think it does help suggest this generally spectatorial environment around the background of the painting. It makes us see the sea as something that is spectacle, as something worth looking at. If you took them out, it would be a very different kind of a feeling.
I think the Homer, was very sensitive to modernity. And one of the things that he was witness to outside in the 1880s is a burgeoning tourism industry. Many people who don't realize or forget that there was a major hotel that was only 50 yards beside the studio there outside. It was a very social place. Very independent firm, a bit of a reference, a bit of a program. And yet we have lots of photographs from that period that suggest that he intermingled with the crowds that came to concept. And I think that this kind of gathering of people of a beautiful evening was meant to speak to the larger cultural significance of tourism. And the activity of seeing is important.
And a lot of discussions about their hats.
We knew that question. I don't think we heard yours to answer.
Yes, I guess they're younger, unmarried women, so this would be the appropriate thing if you are not married to dance with a female companion versus a male companion. But there is still, yes, some ambiguity here.
Right. I mean, it's standard for two women to dance together at this point. I mean, I was thinking about this in terms of the fact that if he had had a man and a woman dancing there instead, there would have then been this whole other narrative of the kind of sexual drama brought into the scene for romantic love at best. So by taking that out of the realm of possibilities, we're able to focus on some of the other dynamics in the painting. So it kind of holds the narrative drama of the painting down and it's instead more pictorial, technological.
I think it's also the case that Palmer throughout his artistic career was interested in the psychology of many of the figures that he captured. I mean, the wonderful painting that's upstairs here at the Harvard collection, the Brush Parable, is a remarkable picture of mourning and loss and the sense that here you've got a family that has been torn apart from children who are now taken over the task of minding the field. And you see in many of Homer's paintings from this time in England and after, groups of especially close people together. And I think he's reflecting also ideas of loneliness, separation, and yet a picture like this is about the joy of image. So there's a lot of emotion and feeling.
And if I could just add something, I was really excited to see you both work bridge because to me, the fact that those two women are dancing together, they're very similar. They could be one and the same woman. thinking in different kinds too. So, and I think that's also, it would be much more distracting to have the man and the woman. Although maybe the fact that there are two women is also one reason for the critics being so annoyed with them. Because they're not your typical fishermen.
Way in the back, yeah. The absence of
And also the absence of the music in itself. And this is a common technique that Homer employs to frame his pictures to where an important narrative element is sort of left out. And it's, I think, actually helps to engage the viewer to imagine of the scene beyond.
Neither of the light sources is visible to us. Which is crucial.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I mean, it's in the history of seascapes, kind of singular choice. Homer does this every time. So, the earlier 19th century American painters will show you. It seems to make it all more poetic and mysterious.
But there's also like transition to, between this modern light and a more traditional way of representing moonlight, where the moon visible, or the natural light is going out of the picture, so to speak.
Yeah, and I wonder, one of the really striking things about this picture is it seems to come from within. And I wonder whether he intentionally kept the moon out, because if the moon were visible, it would be the moon reflecting on the water. But now you have this sort of otherworldly glow from within the sea. So I think in a way it adds a sense of mysticism to it.
Yeah. One critic, I can't remember who it was, said that it looked like a back projection, right? That it looks like the transparency or diorama is from behind. Again, from an unseen light source. So, and it also, I mean, in my view, it also makes the connection to watercolor for Homer. I mean, this is the first oil that he does after years of working on watercolor, and watercolor is also has a kind of double light source quality about it, because when you have a watercolor, the light is coming from in front of it and it bounces off of the pigment, so also some of the light goes through the pigment and hits the white paper behind it and comes back out transparently through the pigment. So watercolor too has this sense of a back projection or an interior form of illumination that I think is somehow trying to transfer that to.
I totally agree. Thank you for
Yes,
watercolor. Me being the only one who likes uses watercolor every time I look at it.
Yes, sir.
Has anyone taken a digital picture of this painting and put it on the left side of the screen, and then a digital picture of it with the dancers removed and explored the different way in which viewers react to the painting?
Yeah, would be a good experiment. Homer does a version of this himself, right? In the slide that you showed. It's a similar scene and he crops the figures out. But yeah, should we listen to the critics here?
Well, when I was looking at it upstairs, I put my thumb in front of me so that I could edit them out. And it does totally change the way you relate to the scene. I mean, you can become much more absorbed and sort of funneled into the scene, but the women really block you in a sense. They turn you into a spectator instead of a participant. So it's no wonder that so many critics are there.
There's the electricity.
Right, it's here, and they're giving us that light or show.
Inspector Artist looks lovely. Thank you, thank you.
About what?
Homer was famous. Homer was famously his paintings. He did not really elaborate in either essays or even letters about the significance of
work. So we don't.
But this was followed, of course, by many, many seascapes without figures. And this is an unusual painting. So when you have only the paintings to work with, you have to think about these most odd moments in a painter's career and think about what kind of problems he might have been trying to solve.
Inspector artist, graphite.
Which is unbelievable.
Right.
We're thinking about as some kind of account that makes complex.
Different titles depending on who you read and what critic, but we do think that it was originally called Popular Gallop for the song, which is a civil war, was an earlier origin, or even earlier, and then Homer strategically changes the title. His big time, big why, what it means to go from Buffalo down to Cincinnati, certainly that's a simple, takes me away from here.
There must be a plot in there. I mean, Homer was very playful with his title of things he included in the pictures. It's a side that's usually discussed, but I think there is some humor in it. Yeah. I haven't exactly what was why this was so funny.
Well, it seems, I mean, I think the original title
Macdeath 007, amazing talent. Thank you.
Right, and then, right, so he changes it to something that's appealing to the song, and it may well have been an attempt to appeal to the musical quality or to somehow call out the absent sound from the painting. But I suspect it literalized it too much. And I know it's the murals right of the song is so different.
It's been a while. Cost you pay.
Right.
Maybe you'll have a few more questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Cost you pay. Even without you, it's not quite the same. Can we start over? Turn to
they're rolling. I personally think that the danger here is actually technology and its relationship to painting, but the sea for Homer is something that's always ready to break out of its safe confines. So,
Okay, one more question. Sam?
Thank you all very much. This has been a really informative exercise in close looking and critical analysis of material culture and visual media. And I wonder if any of you might be willing to speak to the stakes of exercising those skills at this current historical moment.
Yeah, we just spent an hour with them in the New York Times.
It's funny that you mentioned this question because Ethan was talking with us earlier this afternoon about this very same thing, and I thought to myself, I actually should prepare an answer as a museum director. I should have an answer to this question, and so I actually wrote down 3 sentences that that at least begin this, and I would say that this is a painting about joy and wonder and community, and in a moment like that, it's important not to forget or lose sight of beauty in our midst, the potential for art to make a difference. A great nation needs great art, literature, music, poetry, film, teaches, inspires, and us together, equal, but also diversity, midst, and prompts important conversations that extend knowledge and understanding is essential to civilization.
Creative mind. Thank you, thank you. Let it be forever. Masterpiece. Treasure my love. I found a masterpiece in you. Work of art is true. Will I treasure you? Papki Salam. Wow, thank you, Papki Salam. Thank you. Found a masterpiece in you. Work of art is true. Will I treasure you, my love? Stephen Scott. Nice art. I've been having a difficult time teaching myself how to shade. This is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, thank you. What I'm doing is I'm just taking it a little bit slowly, layer after layer, from light to dark. And I use different shades of pencils. I started with HB as a base, and then I layered B pencil for the mid-tone, and now I'm using a darker pencil, the 5B. I might use a 9B later, or 8B. Dark Sketch. Hello, Dark Sketch. Hello, hello. Found a masterpiece in you. A work of art is true. And I treasure you, my love. I found a masterpiece in you. It's true. And I treasure you. Papki Salam, your pencil is 9B or HB? I used both. I started with HB, followed it with B, and now 5B, and later on 9B. I'm going from light to dark, layer after layer, with a little bit of patience. When I'm lost and insecure, build me up and let me show. I found a masterpiece in you. Work of art is true, and I treasure you, my love. Papki Salam, how are you, bro? I'm good, thank you, thank you. Another very hot midday here in the Philippines. Or rather, it's still morning. It's 11. Oh, almost 12 noon. I found a masterpiece in you. Work of art is true, and I treasure you, my love. I found a masterpiece in you. Work of art is true, and I treasure you. Papki Salam, I like the drawing. Thank you, Papki Salam. Lift your head, baby, don't be scared. All the things that could go wrong along the way. Get by with a smile. Can't wait to try. Get along with a little prayer and a song. I have stayed through the good times. Baby, you don't have to worry. You don't need to hurry. You're turning the crazy. This brings you down. Turn your face into a frown. Get a bag of a little spread of song. some things have to live once. There's nothing but hold Lift your head, baby, don't be scared of the things that could go wrong along the way. You'll get by, free to smile. You can't win on anything, but you can try. You don't have to worry. You'll get by with a little prayer and a song. We had to do it. Stay with me. Let it go, let it go. Don't hold it back anymore. Go. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, no one did. You just let your heart decide. can show you the shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, where to go, or say we're only dreaming. For new world, 100,000 things to see. Christopher Green, hey, that's my wife in another life. Thank Christopher Green, incredible work. Thank you, thank you. Like a shooting star, come so far. Can't go back to where I used to be. Every turn is a surprise. Every moment's red letter. I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. Every moment's red letter. I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. Unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling to an endless time in sky, a whole new world, a new horizons to pursue. I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. It's where we'll be, a thrilling chase, a wondrous place for you and me. Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling till an endless time is out. You had to go out on your own, so you can find your way back home. And somewhere down the road, our roads are gonna cross again. That's what love is for. Built our defenses, lead us back to our senses. Once more, once to build our defenses. Echo 56 was this brother. Actress Angelina Jolie. Hopeless. Right. Has to fall. You might have a question because you draw again. I think it's my second time. The first one was colored pencil, if I'm not mistaken. No matter how far. Echo. Bro, it's school time, don't got school or college. I'm finished schooling. No matter how far. I got the question for to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. Be true. Just glorious quest. To reachable star. to march into hell. Peko 56, but I think I should streams more in like afternoon because then the school students will be free and you'll get more views. So thank you. I will. That's a good suggestion. To be willing to march into hell. Oh, for a heavenly cross. And I know it can only be true to this glorious quest. Someday, just have to be content with stealing glances. That I love like love Saudis. I love like love. Smiles that always wanted. Because we know that I love. We'll have to wait until that sometime somewhere